Welcome back, everybody. This is BladeSpark83 coming at you with another tips and tricks and how-tos and what have yous. And here we are at Navigaine again at our favorite testing ground, just so I could bring you some content about my tips and tricks about combat and power leveling. Um, we're gonna probably just start with power leveling. You want to level up really fast? Here's the tip: build shit. Build and upgrade. It's simple. You're going to level up quickly. It's going to be easy. I mean, going and chopping down trees, going and smacking rocks. You see that big rock over there? Digging in the dirt to get your cobbles. And then you search around the world at construction sites and whatnot. You can find cement. You can power level really quickly early on in game just by upgrading your blocks and your building. Yes, this is boosted. I like playing on boosted. That doesn't mean you have to play that way. This works the same on your standard settings. Look at your XP gain just for building and upgrading. Again, this doesn't have to be, you don't have to play on boosted, you don't have to do any of that, but this does work and you're gonna power level like crazy. It's a good mechanic. It's not exactly an exploit, but you are going to gain hella levels just for building and upgrading. And hell, if you know what you're doing, you already know this is what you want to do anyway. You want to have a good horde base to withstand the horde, so you need to build and upgrade anyway. There we go, we got our little cube. So, points being shown, building and upgrading is where you want to be at to level up quickly. Yes, you could go out and couple it with killing things, looting things. Those are all, they're not as consistent as standing in one spot, building your base. Things will end up coming to you anyway while you're building and upgrading to where you could get those kills aside. Like this guy. The next things we're going to go over is combat skills and why they are important. This is a big level tier 6 gun, but I have no skill points for combat, period. When you start dumping points in, it starts building, it starts getting better. And you could couple it with other things, which is going to segue us into combat builds and why you would want to build them that way. Or why at least I build them that way doesn't necessarily mean that's gospel and how you should do it. So before anybody gets your ass hairs in a twist and screams out, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that's not the way you should be doing it. This is the way I do it and found to be successful. So calm down. We're in this together. So the first build I'm going to go over is the build that you're probably going to start with, which is melee. We'll start with the club, put it down here, and we are going to put in our skills over, and we will say, all right, you're at level 1-ish. We'll go 1 into Pabloing Pete because it helps with your one-handed clubs, baseball bats, your blunt melee weapons, basically anything that's not heavy weapon, I guess. Want to couple that with flurry of blows, and here's why. Quick hands. This perk applies to clubs, brawling, knives, machetes, and stun batons. You have developed quick hands. One-handed melee attack speeds are increased by 10%. This really does help you. And early on, if you want to not lose a whole ton of your stamina while melee brawling, this is the most OP perk in the game. You have graduated to bench warmer. Reduce melee and tool stamina usage by 8% and power attacks by 15%. This is huge when you're walking around with just a knobby stick trying to whoop ass on some zombies. Our game stage is at 360. We only have 1 point in each so far of this build. Mind you, there's no armor perks, no nothing put on. We just put points into a whoop ass stick, basically. Now we found our first volunteer. We're gonna hit him with a light attack. See how it knocks him back. Clubs are pretty OP. And you put a power attack on. Yes, it's tier 6, but it's the basic club with 1 point in each on game stage level 360. We can look at it again. Come over here. There's only 1 point in Sexy Rex. There's only 1 point in Pummeling Pete. And 1 point in Flurry of Blows. Now you notice Sexy Rex, Pummeling Pete, and Flurry of Blows coupled together, the stamina loss is very minimal. After we've just bashed the brains in on 2 zombies, we'll simulate a top tier, no mods, just how the damage works with the points maxed out. Pummeling Pete maxed out, Sexy Rex maxed out. Now look at what it gives you. Reduce melee and tool stamina usage by 25%. Killing blows grant 30 stamina. This is awesome, coupled with Pummeling Pete. Deal 50% more damage. Attacks do 200% more damage to stun enemies. Power attacks have a 100% chance to knock foes back down. 3 successful hits in a short time cause the last blow 100% extra damage. As you progress down this ladder with Pummeling Pete, knowing that clubs are pretty OP for melee, it only gets better, especially when you find the Batter Up books. The Batter Up books coupled with this make you a melee beast. Now you come over and you upgrade Flurry of Blows. As you progress, speeds are increased. This one's 17%. And then you come down 25%. Each killed recharges stamina 30 points. Now, if you're gaining stamina at 30 points from Pummeling Pete and you're gaining stamina by Flurry of Blows 30 more points each time, your stamina's cooking up and you're beasting through on melee. It's kind of a no-brainer to couple all these together. Light attack, heavy attack. Almost no loss in stamina because the killing blow charged it all right back up, everything that you were using. Those 3 coupled together will make you a melee beast. You can stand and swing and swing and swing as long as you're killing things every other swing or every 3rd swing. You see we ran all the way over, boom. Look how fast stamina popped back up. Now, this effect works very well, or let's say this build works very well with all of your one-handed melee weapons. It applies to all of them. Let's say you want to be stabbing and jabbing, you want to be a knife guy, gal, what have you. You knock it up with Flurry of Blows, you come over to deep cuts and mesh that with Sexy Rex. You're gonna be one stabbing, jabbing motherfucker, because it's gonna work the same way. This brings us on to my next point and why I don't use knives as a main melee weapon. They're not as OP as the clubs, and here's why. The clubs will knock back and give you room to breathe to get behind a door, drop a block, or get that next swing on so you're not getting just chewed up in the meat grinder of a handful of zombies coming into a room after you. You have the ability to swing, knock back, and give yourself breathing room to gain that stamina per kill. Knives, however, do not knock back. Yes, they cause bleed damage with multiple attacks, but they are not going to be as effective as a club, moving enemies back, knocking them back, and giving you that extra recharge per kill on stamina points. With flurry of blows and clubs maxed out, you're gaining 60 points of stamina per kill, which is really friggin' huge. Knives, you're probably only gonna gain 30 points per kill. Does it take less stamina to operate? Yes. So could it even out? Probably. Come over here, buy them all. See what the top one gives us. Deal 50% more damage. You can inflict up to 7 bleeding wounds on an enemy with a power attack inflicts 5. All glancing blows cause 1 bleeding wound. Enemies run 20% slower while bleeding. We can move down, grab our knife. Being that we're at top tier, and go find us a volunteer to get stabbed and jabbed. Alright, we got a willing volunteer. Yes, radiated. But notice how you don't do any knockback. Yes, that was a pretty good, pretty quick dispatch of a zombie. But at the same time, we can move over to the club, find us another volunteer. There's one, feral. Boom, knockback. 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 Notice the zombie's not dead, but you knocked it back. You're gaining more stamina. You got room to breathe. The knife, no knockback. Yes, you're causing bleeding damage, but the point is knockback. In my preference, I'll dump a point or two into the knife skill just so I can get faster food in the world. And that's basically that. The knife for me is just a food processing tool, just like it is in real life. It's a food processing tool. Moving on. We're going to start with guns and why I build guns the way I do. Some of it is very self-explanatory and some of it needs some interpretation. I might not be 100% accurate on it, but we're going to go with it. So, your rifle skills are pretty much in your perception bank here. As you level up in perception, awesome things happen, but we're talking about weapons right now. The Deadeye perk, you can hit the broadside of a barn, do 10% more damage with rifles, craft quality 2 rifles, aim and reload 10% faster, unlocks hunting rifle crafting. It's a very good perk. Without these perks, again, you're going to have trouble killing things. You need to dump points into perks, obviously. And yes, a lot of you do know this, but a lot of people that are learning about this game and just checking it out, hell, you don't know everything. Fuck, some of us had to look up shit to figure it out once in a while because the shit's not a direct interpretation. You gotta kind of read in between the lines. So if I was doing a rifle build, this is how I would do it. I would dump points in Deadeye. Obviously. The next thing you want is Penetrator. And read why. Ignore 10% of armor with firearms and archery. 20% on anything with target armor reduction. What this means is with all firearms and archery, 20% of anything with target armor reduction. You want to couple this with your firearms. Get to the next one. Ignore 15% of armor with firearms and archery, 30% on anything with target armor reduction. Armor-piercing rounds can penetrate an additional target or a block up to 500 hit points. So what this means is if you have zombies in a line and you're using an armor-piercing round, it will go through that line of zombies. If you're shooting something that's behind a block or behind a door, the round goes through the door and hits the target on the other side. You can wall bang the shit out of stuff with this perk. Or it takes one shot that you have here and it shoots it through an object into the thing behind it, which if you have a zombies in a line, that means one bullet works like, I don't know, 5 of your normal bullets, potentially, if there's 5 zombies in a row and you have an armor-piercing round. It's pretty awesome. So, Deadeye and Penetrator. The top tier allows you to ignore 20% of armor with firearms and archery, 50% on anything with target armor reduction. Armor-piercing rounds can penetrate 3 additional targets or a block up to 1,000 hit points when using hunting, marksman, or sniper rifles. Now, the second half of that is solely for rifles. But the first half at the top is for all firearms and archery. This is awesome. This is like flurry of blows for guns. It's really good. Now, if you couple that with run and gun, you need run and gun if you're doing a gun build. Spray and pray. Aiming is overrated. Just shoot first and ask questions later. Hip fire accuracy is improved by 10%, and movement penalty while reloading is reduced by 30%. The second half is the most important thing that you want to know. Reloading speed is either going to get you killed or save your ass. The guns reload hella slow without this perk. Yes, they'll probably gain a little bit when you're building on the gun perk itself, but if you're going to do a gun build, you absolutely need this perk. Let's take the shittiest reloading weapon in the game. Now watch how slow this reloads. That right there in situations is going to get you killed. It is so slow. The blunderbuss, in my opinion, was faster than this even without perk points. Now, we come over, find our running gun, spray and pray. Reloading is reduced by 60%, yes please. Hip fire accuracy, and have no movement penalty while reloading. This means you can haul ass and reload at the same time, because not only is this a slow reload, but as you're trying to run away from things and reload at the same time, you're gonna find out your character slows down to a crawl and is fighting to get the bullets back into the gun while you have zombies munching your asshole trying to run away. Now, if we come over, strength, build up your shotgun, build up your shotgun, build up your shotgun. Not only are you going to notice speeds, but you're going to gain damage, you're going to gain better quality of weapons that you can craft yourself, and you're going to have faster fire rate, faster reloads. Now, we have a shotgun build. What's this mean with a different shotgun? Let's see. Well, you're now top tier. just loaded 9 shots in the same time it took to load 1 in the pipe shotgun. This thing, shotguns are OP. Now I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. When you're using a shotgun, and you will see this in a lot of other videos, using a shotgun damages the blocks in the world absolutely. This goes for the blocks in the world. No damage. Damage. See that? Now, this goes for your base too, so keep this in mind for your horde bases, or if you're out raiding and looting. You're doing damage to your own structures. So, when you build a horde base, if you plan on using a shotgun while you're fighting the horde because they're fucking awesome, they're OP, understand, they're pretty goddamn OP against your own shit too. That's a steel block, and it did 1,400 damage, somewhere in there. Now, what have we learned about guns? For a gun build, you want the gun stat that you want to use, and you want to build on that. You want sexy recs, so because when you're aiming and shooting, you lose stamina. You want an agility that's run and gun, because it helps you run and reload on the run. All of these coupled together make even the shittiest guns in the game seem not so bad, and when you're early on in game, you definitely need the ability to shoot fast, run, and reload fast. Let's go to another melee option, and this is not one I see very often. I like to use the steel axe. Early on, I like to use my Swiss Army stone axe too for a long period of time until I can get into the Iron Age. The fire axe, the steel axe work, and here's why. You want to get to where your tools double as weapons, right? I know I do. So what I like to do is come down and basically build a murder axe build. Miner 69er. Everyone has to start somewhere. Craft quality 2 poor tools, increase damage by 10%, and block damage by 30% with any axe, pickaxe, shovel, chainsaw, or auger. Now what this means is you're gaining damage for your tools on entities in the world, not just blocks. You couple Miner 69er, build the next one, damage 20%, and block damage 60% with any axe, pickaxe, shovel, chainsaw, or auger. Increase tool damage by 30% and block damage by 90% with any axe, pickaxe, shovel, chainsaw, or auger. Now this doesn't mean run around with a shovel and ping zombies in the fucking head. You're gonna end up dying. But what this does do is when you can build an axe with damage stats that actually make sense to swing, and you can hit crowds of fuckers with an axe that also doubles as a tool in the world for you to get resources, it keeps more junk off your belt and more room in your inventory. I tend to work my way to try to build Miner 69er as fast as possible. 1, you get badass tools. 2, you get hella damage rate with your tools. 3, it saves space for you. Couple this with Motherload, and you're getting early on stuff that you need to power level building your stuff. I believe it's a win-win. match it with Sexy Rex, this is going to be a standard for everything because everything uses stamina. So you have Sexy Rex, Minor 69er, and Motherload. Come down, increase stamina regen when sprinting, increase stamina regen while sprinting. Now we're in nighttime where shit hits the fan really quickly, and I saw a guy walk through here. We're gonna test this axe. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And on game stage level 360 to 2-tap a zombie with a fucking axe, you're a beast. Now we're gonna move on to what I think is one of the most OP weapons in the game, the sledgehammer. It's pretty much the same as a Minor 69er Axe Slayer build, but you're gonna come over, you're gonna get your corresponding, there's the big hammer, Skull Crusher. Craft quality 2 pour sledgehammers, 10% more damage, 15% knockback down enemies with power attacks. Unlock iron sledgehammer crafting. Now, the sledgehammer uses a shit ton of stamina to swing. Again, Sexy Rex. Cardio. You can sprint a little bit, gain some stamina back, slam some water, shut a door in front of you, regain stamina. The cool part about the sledgehammer is if you're in a crowd and you can't reload your guns fast enough, you have this big bitch, you power swing, and you can hit a group of zombies and knock them back. The club is a little more pointed. Yes, you can smack a group a little bit, but you're gonna get 1 or 2 versus where this, if you power swing, what's in that swing arc is going to knock back. Now what the hell's wrong with that? The stamina usage, yeah, but in a pinch, swinging that sledge is better than, in my opinion, a grenade. You're hitting them all with the damage of a sledgehammer. It's awesome. Do I use it? No, it's not really for me in the builds that I like to build. It's not much into my comfort zone. But does it have its uses? Is it OP as fuck? Hell yes it is. This will reduce your toolbar. You're not going to collect, by any means, resources with this tool. However, you will knock doors down. You will bust blocks. If you build it right, this is still considered a tool and a melee weapon. Alright, bitch. Look at him go! So, I hope some of those little tidbits give you an idea the builds you can make. And really, what it boils down to is if you're new, take your time, read your perks, try to understand that it's not just one perk that dictates that ability. Check it out, make your builds for yourself, and you know what, down in the comments below, let me know how you like to build your character. Now, next off, and this is going to be the last thing we talk about, is armor. Again, your armor, it doesn't matter what armor build you like to build. The stats and perks all work basically the same as anything else in the game. I tend to rock heavy armor. The more you build on your armor stats, the better off you're going to be. It removes stamina penalties, it improves durability, it lets you craft better quality. Now, when you know to couple your armor build and you're already building Sexy Rex, you also want to be building cardio. Cardio is another helpful deal with armor. Cardio is awesome. It's a really underrated, not so very talked about stat perk that really helps you out. Also coupled with armor, I tend to go with this. One, it helps you shrug off a lot of shit, it stops you from being stunned, and it lets you beat the piss out of those zombies while being hit. First one, reduce hit point loss by 5%, 20% less chance of getting stunned. Second one, reduce hit point loss by 10%, 40% less chance of being stunned. 15% reduce in hit point loss, 60% less chance of being stunned. Reduce 20% of hit point loss, 80% less chance of being stunned. You get the idea here. This, with any armor build, is going to help you tank and move just a little better. Regardless of what happens, you get trapped in a stupid situation, you're fucking dead anyway. But this will help you have a little more leeway on if you make your mistakes early on, later on. Dump a couple points in this and let me know how you feel about it. Pain tolerance, heavy armor, sexy Rex, cardio. Those are the basis for your armor. And if you're building whatever build it is you're building, it's probably going to be a standard of the points where you place anyway. But once again, I'm going to leave you all with that to think about. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll let you all go from this one, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Thanks again for watching. I couldn't do what I do without you.